It could be you, Mrs. Darrell Ray from Fort Bridge, Wyoming. It could be you, Mr. Nelson Cottle from Trenton, Utah. Or wherever you live across the United States, it could be you. It's America's Show of Surprises, brought to you by New Liquid Prell, the shampoo that's extra rich to leave your hair looking radiantly alive. And by Ivory Soap, advised by more doctors for baby skin and yours. And now, here's your master of surprises, Bill Layden.
Wonderful audience tonight. Thank you, Wendell Niles. Welcome to It Could Be You and so many surprises. And are we fortunate tonight? We have a famous producer in our audience. Let's see if our cameras can find him. Now, this producer, I'm glad to say, is bringing back the double feature. And It Could Be You, we're talking about Staff Sergeant James Busby of San Francisco. Come on stage. I want to talk about your career. Oh, you're quite a producer. It's wonderful to have a man of your caliber on stage here, huh? Now, when I mention you in connection with the double feature, you got that grin on your face. Would you explain to the audience what I'm talking about? I think you know.
I've got 2 sets of twins.
Yes, but the important thing, you have fathered 2 sets of twins in 10 months' time, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, of course, I mean, I don't know why you applaud. That's the service influence. You always do things on the double, right? Now, Sergeant, we know that you live 400 miles from the studio and want to thank the Air Force for helping us trick you into the studio tonight. We know that you and your large family are living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Having a 4 of a kind makes a full house with you, doesn't it, huh? Of course, you probably don't play that game being in the service. By the way, do you actually know scientifically the odds on having 2 sets of twins in 10 months?
No, I don't.
Well, we checked the insurance companies for statistics, and there are really no odds. No one's ever looked this up before. But most of them agreed that the odds are about, well, more than 25 million to 1. Now, this is the statistics we received. Now, I know your wife's name is Anita. Where is she right now?
She's in California. She's at home.
You know, Anita, your wife, where's home?
It's at Rafael Village there in Nevada.
Right near San Francisco, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, get set for another surprise, Sergeant. That's what you think. Prell flew her to Hollywood this afternoon, and here she is. Come on out here. All right, now, it's enough of this mush. Now, come on. Anita, I know that you have a little secret, another surprise for Jim. Would you care to tell him now?
What?
Anita, suppose you tell the audience what you've just told your husband.
Oh, I couldn't get a babysitter.
Couldn't get a babysitter, that's right. We couldn't get a babysitter. It scared them all off. But we got them down here, and here are your 4 wonderful children. Let's bring out these babies. Here's Diane, Denise, and there's John and Joseph over there sacking it out. The girls are older. If you could only see the beautiful red hair in these. Jim, how does it feel to go from just the 2 of you to a family of 6 in less than a year? Hmm?
Well, we didn't have too much time to think about it.
Didn't have too much time to think about it. I understand that you've been praying for a dry winter. Why do you want a dry winter?
We use about 100 diapers a day.
100 diapers a day. Well, Sergeant, we know that you and Anita are doing a wonderful job managing your big family, and you've made those GI checks really stretch a long way. But just in case it might not be a dry winter up there, use this. Wendell, if you please. We have this for you. Take care of your laundry problems. The new O'Keefe and Merritt washer dryer combination. This is the push-button one with the steady speed. That means no vibration. It's going to make your wash days a holiday, which will be every day for you. It's fully automatic, particularly in drying diapers. You like that, honey? Huh? You like that? Of course you do, sweetheart. Now, Anita, I know you've really had to scramble around getting baby furniture for the kids. All of a sudden, we have 4 children, don't we? Now, you can return all the stuff you borrowed. I understand you borrowed here and there and everywhere because you now have your own. Take a look at this. Take a look right here. There's your little piece. That's all from Storkline, you know, the makers of fine baby furniture. That's the glide inside crib. And it operates as quiet as a kitten. It has those patented silent drop sides. And then to go with the crib, there's the beautiful Storkline Schifferobe over there. And when you open the drawers, you'll find they are filled with a complete baby layette. Everything you need. And then there's the new Storkline fold-away feeding table. See there? There's no better line than Storkline. And I know what you're thinking right now. We'll have 3 warming up while the other are in it. And there's also the deluxe bassinet and the baby scales to go along with that. And by the way, we have thought of this too, Anita and Jim. One of each won't be enough. So we're going to send you 4 cribs, 4 Schifferobes, and 4 feeding tables. Is that all right? All right, Sergeant? And another little thing. Everything you see here, with the exception of Wendell, is yours. We're sending you also these 2 twin Storkline perambulators are yours. Now, all you have to do is to make the sidewalks wider on your block. These are beautiful children, and you should be very, very proud, as we are for you. And I know that you're going to have just a world of happiness. And it's been a double treat, believe, surprising you on It Could Be You for all of us. Congratulations. You better go with the children. I don't trust them. All right, now, who would like to go for a ride on the carousel? Anyone in our audience? Yes, it could be you, then, our beautiful Prell girl, Trudy Rowe. And it is. So what do you say? Let's take a ride. Let's go. Oh, boy. Wait in the car, will you? It's that Marmon outside, the 1926 Marmon. You enjoying our show?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm delighted. And now I'm looking for a pair of youngsters who have just sent out announcements on their 50th wedding anniversary. Yes, it could be you, Mr. and Mrs. George Witheridge of San Fernando, California. How are you, sir? How are you, sweetheart? When will your 50th anniversary be?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is your 50th anniversary? Well, that's just a few hours from now. Let's go down on stage and talk about it, shall we? Come on down. Go with me. Be my pleasure. You're all right, sir, but I'd rather have the pretty one stand next to me. I know what I'm doing. 50 years together, that's a wonderful, wonderful record.
Yes.
Does it seem like 50 years?
No, it doesn't.
Now, Mr. and Mrs. Witheridge, I want you to take a look at our special television set here. I want to show you a picture taken on your wedding day 50 years ago in Saginaw, Michigan. Sure, that's it. September 11th, 1908.
That's right.
Now, where did you 2 newlyweds go on your honeymoon?
Nowhere. We didn't have a honeymoon.
I know it. You were a coal miner at that time, weren't you, sir, in Michigan? You had no money.
No.
And the very night of your wedding, your brother got sick, and Mr. Witheridge spent the whole honeymoon night walking to town to get a doctor. And it was a long walk, I know. Now, since that time, 4 generations of Witheridges have come along, and there they are. Wonderful family, too. Look at that picture.
A lovely picture.
Now, that nice man there in the wheelchair happens to be your son-in-law, right? I know that 11 years ago he suffered severe spinal injuries in an accident and hasn't had the use of his arms or legs since that time. Even though your daughter, his wife, works, she hasn't been able to support completely her husband and 2 children. And we know there have been over $30,000 in medical expenses. It's been a tough pull, hasn't it, Mrs. Witheridge?
Sure has.
So at a time of life when you folks are entitled to take things a little easy, you willingly took on the responsibilities of a family for the second time. Now, Mr. Witheridge, what do you do for a living, sir?
Florist.
I know that you have a rather small florist shop in San Fernando, a small town north of Los Angeles. And I hear that you now and then slip an extra flower or 2 into wedding orders for people who can't afford a big bouquet without saying a thing. That's Mr. Witheridge. Let me find out.
Sure does.
And your daughter keeps telling you, Dad, you and Mom are never going to take a honeymoon trip that way. You've got to save a little. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Witheridge, we have a golden anniversary present for you. Wendell, the present, please. That is probably a little difficult to read in the camera. Is it good to eat? You just dip a finger in there. You don't mind? Is it
No,
good?
why don't you do first?
It says right there.
Okay.
Happy golden anniversary. And what do you know? It looks like the bride and groom have gifts for each other, huh? Let's see. This must be the groom's gift for the bride. Now, let's see what we could have here. I know something you've wanted for 25 years. Your young bride has been wishing for a watch that would keep time. So the groom has for you this beautiful 23-jewel Bulova Empress diamond encrusted, just for you.
Beautiful.
And so are you.
That's what you want.
Now let's look over here. You must have a gift for the groom. This is pink ribbon. Leads down here. An envelope. All right. Now, I know that for 50 years you've been doing nothing but talking about a trip, and you've never been able to go. And we know that you've always wanted to go to Hawaii. So the bride's gift to the groom is a honeymoon trip to Hawaii on your 50th anniversary. You're going to... I love it. Right here, it says it's all down here. You're going to fly... You're going to fly to and from sunny Hawaii. You'll be staying at Waikiki's finest hotel, the fabulous Henry J. Kaiser's Hawaiian Village. Now, whether you leave tomorrow or spend Christmas in Hawaii, it's all up to you. You'll never forget your week at the fabulous Hawaiian Village, Hawaii's most luxurious hotel. Oh, something else in the envelope was sort of tucked in there. A little check for $250 for those incidental expenses. You may want to get a wild shirt or something, and you may want to get one of those, those things when they dance, that thing.
Wouldn't I look pretty in one?
You certainly would. You have a wonderful honeymoon. You've earned it, and may you enjoy many more happy, healthy years together. We're going to have one of the most dramatic surprises we've ever done on It Could Be You. But first, how many of you sometimes think that you have a split personality? Well, let's take a look at a gal who admits it. We're going to surprise a man right now who took part in one of the most dramatic, exciting adventures to come out of World War II. A fantastic story of the crew of a B-24 bomber, a four-engined heavy bomber at that time that knocked the daylights out of the enemy. This one was shot down by Japanese anti-aircraft in the jungles of Mindanao and the Philippine Islands in the year 1945. The B-24 shot down over Mindanao was named, ironically, I'll Get By. But thanks to a miracle and the courage of the pilot, all 11 men in that plane are alive today. And we tricked that pilot into the studio tonight. It could be you, former Captain John Lampy. Taxi down here, sir. I want to come to meet you. B-25 pilot. How are you? We surprised you. Now, you Air Corps man. Huh? John, I know you live now in Southern California with your wife and two children. We had quite a problem keeping the secret from you. Now, I'm going to show you something that'll bring back memories. The crew of your plane. Now, I'll get by. There you are. See in the back on the left, standing? That was taken shortly before your last mission, wasn't it?
Right.
I know your plane struck. It caught fire. The controls were just about shot away. But you held a course. You stuck to the ship and held a course while all your men bailed out, 1, 2 at a time. Like a good captain, you were the last man to leave the ship. How close to the ground were you when you finally hit the silk?
Oh, maybe 2,000 feet.
Looked pretty close. It was getting closer all the time. And they had a little game there. The Japanese soldiers were giving you a bit of a bad time on the ground, weren't they?
I'm a little shaky, Dad.
They had a little thing called Pot the Flying Americans, and they were shooting at you. I know you and your men were floating down in probably the worst spot in the world you could have landed. You were coming down right over a prisoner of war camp, a delightful little Jap penal colony.
Penal colony. That's
Davao,
right.
a lovely place.
Yeah.
But as all you men were floating down in parachutes, a miraculous change in air currents caused you to drift, and you drifted your men right past the camp, although one of them, Sergeant Swain, landed about 30 yards outside the camp.
That's correct.
How'd you make out? Where'd you land?
Lord only knows. Maybe 2 miles from there.
But you were up to here in tropical growth. I know, right in
right.
the dense jungle. You actually were about a mile from the camp. I know that for days in this
Are you
dense...
shaking?
No, are you? I'm nervous. You all right? Just a touch of malaria, I'll be all right. I always did worry about four-engine men. Now, I know that for days you fellas had nothing to eat. You had hunger, the fever, malaria, and exhaustion. But one by one, after 2 weeks in the jungle, all 11 men were rescued right under the guns of the Jap searching parties by the wonderful Filipino guerrillas. Those were tough guys, weren't they? And they were wonderful. I bet you were glad they were around, weren't you? I bet
Positively.
you were. I know the enemy did not capture a single man of your crew. They all...
That's true.
All evaded them. Now, where did the Filipino guerrillas take you, and what did they do for you?
Well, they simply picked us up piecemeal, packed us to their garrisons and whatnot, and that was about it. Eventually, the Navy came in and picked us up.
I know that they fed you, they gave you medicine, what little they had. They had very little
Finest
to eat,
people in the world.
but they sacrificed their own food
That's
for
correct.
you.
That's
And I
right.
know how grateful you were to those wonderful Filipino people. And here to tell us about it, it's going to be a surprise for you. From Concord, California, your bombardier on the I'll Get By, Captain Jim Smith. You haven't seen this boy in a long time. Look right here. How about that, huh? Boy, Smitty, Lampy didn't forget the Filipino people, did he?
No, he sure didn't. He always was a kind of a tender-hearted guy.
Are you
When he
shaking?
Huh?
Are you?
When he got back, he had to do something about it, so he started scrounging, filching, pilfering, talking to supply sergeants. Before we knew it, we had a mountain about 2 tons high out in front of our tent.
Food supplies.
Food, supplies, medicine, everything. It took 3 airplanes to fly it back to the little village, and they dropped it off at the village where we were rescued.
I think you fellows might enjoy seeing a picture of the surprise party celebrating your safe return. Take a look at our television set there. Now, Smitty, that's a picture of the enlisted men there, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but we all had a job to do. Lamp was the kingpin, but when we were on the ground, we were all buddies.
Now, I'd like to show a picture of the officers at the same party while they were still standing up there. The cook couldn't bake one cake big enough for all of you. Wait, John, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 5 officers in this picture. Your plane carries only 4
Well,
officers.
we had
Who's the 5th man?
we had the squadron navigator on board.
Oh, was this tough an assignment, huh? It's a big
Well,
job.
we were the lead ship. No.
Who is this? What do you remember?
Our
his name?
ship.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Penrose.
Oh, I know he parachuted into the jungle that day,
He
too.
was the 11th man.
I know.
Ordinarily, you don't carry him, but he was on board
That's
just for...
Well, I know that he's in business down in South America now. How long has it been since you've seen him? I know. You sure you didn't bring this from the jungle? What? How long since you've seen this, Captain Penrose?
I guess 13, 14 years.
Well,
I got a letter from him, but
well, Prel wants you buddies to have a visit again, so we flew Captain Julian Penrose all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and here he is. Come out here, Captain. There's your buddy. Good to see you, John. How about that, huh? Now, I know that
John?
you 3 fellows must have a lot to talk about, right, Julia?
We do, indeed.
The reason I'm holding you like this, I want you to get up here where the cameras can look at you.
I'm a little shook up.
John,
I'll tell you.
you know, we
I'm going to murder about 2 people.
we owe our lives to you, and we want to thank Bill for making this reunion possible.
Now, he told me that these 2 wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for your cool thinking and keeping that ship under
That's
control.
very true.
Well, I know...
You're shaking more than I.
We've enjoyed bringing you together after all these years, and I think this is really going to be a gab fest tonight. Hey, John, before I let you go with these fellas, where are the other members of your crew living today?
I saw the co-pilot, I guess about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. The rest
He
are scattered
dropped
all
by.
over the country,
Yeah,
I think.
no idea.
I know you've only seen or visited a few of them all these 13 years, and you know how things go. Old buddies say they'll keep in touch, and then along comes marriage and babies and jobs and miles separating each other. We located some of your crew, you know. so they all get by.
can't
I know you haven't
stand it.
seen your navigator, Lieutenant Wes Cowell, since 1945. The last time you saw him was in the jungle. We found him in Mount Morris, Michigan, and flew him to Hollywood. Come out here, Wes Cowell. Here's your navigator. Quite a... Oh, boy. This is quite a night for the captain, I'll tell you. And our staff tracked down your co-pilot, Lieutenant Davy Rolfe in Spokane, Washington. Here he is. There's Davy. Incredible. Come around here. You haven't seen half of it yet. Boy, the war story is going to get it going over tonight. You know, it took us weeks. It took us weeks to do this, and we want you to. We got more. You know, it took us weeks to find these men all over the country, guys. Let me say a few. Captain, I'm the pilot here. Now, listen, I know that you've probably given up ever seeing all these men together. Well...
You crying?
Believe me, if I could see my crew again, I would. Believe me. Well, a week or so ago, we located your assistant engineer, Sergeant Bob Gorman. We found him in Lansdowne, Pennsylvania. Here he is. Come out here, Bob.
This boy saved our lives.
Good, we
This
heard
boy,
of-
yeah.
Great boy. I know this is going to be quite a gathering.
We're all here.
Whatever happened to Jack Swain? You know, he's the
Lloyd
fellow.
Swain?
Yeah, he landed so close to the. He was the one that landed 2 feet outside the Jap.
Lord knows, but he's probably here.
Soldier, Kansas. We found him. Come on down. You know, we've burned up the wires trying to find the rest of your crew. They're spread all over. And I know that you had some wonderful men, your waist gunners. We called Lancaster, Ohio. We called McAllen, Texas, to see some of the guys. Sergeants Lawrence Murphy, Denny Durr, and Patty Fortunato and Paul Cantu. We found them all right. They were spread all over the country. Here they are, the whole crew. Come on down here. The whole crew is here. Fellas, I'm going to leave it up to you, just for a minute. Hinge, hut! It's been a long time. Will you please turn your captain pilot around, because I got more to say. Patty. Here they are after 13 long years, the 11 men who parachuted from I'll Get By that fateful day back in 1945. The crew is back together again, and the whole nation... Let me tell you this, Lamp. We've arranged a reunion party for you at the famous Knickerbocker Hotel in the heart of Hollywood. They've removed all the good furniture and everything. And John Lamp, let me tell you, as a memento of this night, and more particularly of the experience that you men shared back in 1945, and in the name of your crew, we'd like you to have this beautiful 23-jewel Bulova wristwatch in its gold case. But the important thing to you will be the engraving, and if I can still pass the Air Corps test, I'll read it. We'll never forget, February 17th, 1945, the crew of the I'll Get By. This is from your men, and here it is. Have a wonderful get-together. I don't have to tell you, have a wonderful reunion. You sure may.
It's impossible to say anything. It really is. It's incredible, and I want to thank anybody and everybody and your sponsor. Is this it? Put it on my hair, and I'll put it on your hair.
And tonight, they'll be drinking it, too. Have a good time, fellas. See you in the Knickerbocker. Think I'll get my shin guards and go down and visit that party about 2 hours from. You know, when a man gets to the end of a busy day, here's just about the nicest thing that could happen. The door opens wide, and before you know it... more surprises. The same time next week. Be sure to watch It Could Be You daytime, Monday through Friday. This is Bill Layton saying when we come your way next time, one of our surprises could be you. Bye-bye, everybody, and thank you.
It Could Be You has been presented by Gleam in tubes and new push-button pack. The toothpaste for people who can't brush after every meal. And by Ivory Soap, 99 and 44 100% pure. It floats. Our out-of-town guests are flown to Hollywood via TWA's luxurious jet stream, featuring exclusive siesta-sleeper seats. Fly the finest, fly TWA Jetstream service. It Could Be You is a Ralph Edwards production. Produced by Stephen Haydes, directed by Stuart W. Phelps. Our special guests stay at the beautiful Hotel Knickerbocker in the heart of Hollywood. Be sure to watch Decision every Sunday night on most of these same stations.